Tonight on NewsWatch 12 at 6, severe weather is creating dangerous conditions in our region with road closures already put in place. And that severe weather doesn't guarantee shelter in Ashland. We'll look into the possible future for the 2200 Ashland Street building up next.
Our big storm has arrived. Strong winds tracking rain and snow moving into the region and turning heavy tonight. I'll have the details on travel impacts into your Wednesday coming up.
Watching out for you. This is NewsWatch 12 at 6.
We are in the midst of a winter storm roaming into southern Oregon and northern California this evening. From earlier today, you can see a dead tree that fell over Highway 140 in eastern Jackson County, causing standstill traffic for about an hour. Thank you for joining us tonight for NewsWatch 12 at 6. I'm Haley Gravitt. Strong winds have been impacting the region over the last several hours from the coast to the mountains and down into the valleys. Our Stormwatch 12 team is tracking heavy precipitation with this storm. Stormwatch 12 meteorologist Sarah Kress was at Siskiyou Summit today. But before we head to Sarah, let's turn it over to Stormwatch 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman to talk about this storm and what it has in store for us, Matt.
Yeah, a lot of strong winds out there over the last several hours. As we head into tonight, we'll kind of transition into being more concerned about the snow for our higher elevations and some very difficult travel. We have high wind warnings in place along the coast, in the Shasta Valley, and for the east side. The strongest winds will be through this evening and tonight, and then they won't be as strong for tomorrow. Still rather windy. We do also have a wind advisory for the Rogue Valley, also back to the west towards Josephine and eastern Curry County. Gusts up to 50 miles per hour. But check out some of these gusts we've seen so far today. Along the Siskiyous, Acorn Woman Peak, 73 mile per hour wind gusts. In the Shasta Valley, 70 miles per hour. In Gazelle, up to 67 miles per hour. In Weed, some very windy conditions along the coast. We had a gust over 60 miles per hour in Gold Beach, and we've had gusts in Medford. Also Klamath Falls, up over 40 miles per hour. This storm is just awfully impressive on the satellite and radar imagery. A bomb cyclone. This thing has deepened and strengthened rapidly as we've gone over the last 24 hours, well exceeding the criteria, and that's why it's having such an impact on us. Also bringing up an atmospheric river, a lot of tropical moisture. That's going to mean a lot of rain and snow coming to southern Oregon and northern California through midweek. Take a look at the snow becoming widespread in the basin through the Cascades and Siskiyous and down into Siskiyou County. Some of these brighter blues, that's some heavy snow up in the higher elevations of western Siskiyou County. And precipitation is only going to become more intense as we head into this evening and tonight. Check out road conditions right now. Very snowy at Snowman's Summit, snow-covered roads. The snow is also coming down at Black Butte Summit along I-5. Hopefully you're where you need to be. You don't need to travel because conditions are only going to go downhill across the region, including up at Siskiyou Summit. The snow is coming down. Cascade Passes, very snowy. We have chain requirements in place up at Willamette Pass. And then taking a look at the east side, that snow becoming more widespread throughout Klamath and into Lake County here this evening and tonight. We have a slew of winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings in place. I'll break down these alerts. We'll talk snow amounts expected through tomorrow. And then also this storm bringing some flooding concerns later on this week. I'll have more details on that coming up in just a bit. Haley?
Matt, thank you. And Stormwatch 12 meteorologist Sarah Kress was up at Siskiyou Summit today. Let's check in with her to see how conditions are looking out there.
Up at Siskiyou Summit, seeing some very gusty conditions, and we'll continue to see that as we do move through the night. Now, when we are going to see some of this heavier precipitation mixed with these winds, it could make for some very dangerous travel conditions. ODOT is advising people to stay away from the passes tonight if you can, especially as we're heading up towards Crater Lake, Diamond Lake. Also, some very dangerous conditions as we are heading down into northern California, even through tomorrow morning. Now, we'll continue to track what we can expect overnight and tomorrow morning. Matt tonight and me as we're waking up tomorrow. But right now we're heading back into the studio with you guys.
And if you want to stay in the know ahead of high winds, snow, and other weather conditions, download our Stormwatch 12 app. There you can find radar, daily and hourly forecasts, and severe weather alerts as they happen. You can also head to our weather page on kdrv.com for road conditions for all of your travel plans. And as we heard, our Stormwatch 12 team is advising us about a strong windstorm as part of an active weather system. We have live coverage of our cold, windy weather with NewsWatch 12's Jerry Howard tracking readiness with emergency services and Pacific Power. Jerry.
Well, Haley, I'm live at the Medford Airport where we talked to the airport director today, and we also talked to Curry County and Pacific Power about the windstorm coming. Rogue Valley International Medford Airport Director Amber Judd told us her crews are busy tracking weather and communicating with airlines about the windy expectations. They're also busy securing ground material at the airfield and clearing drains to make sure they're ready for any rain that comes. Now, Curry County and Pacific Power, they both expect the coast to get the first blast from this windstorm.
The ODOT vehicles have been out since this morning. I expect that my assumption is they're going to be out throughout the duration of the storm, keeping the roads clear and also reporting on bigger stoppages that are going to require more equipment. And I know that the power company here has also been made aware, obviously, what's going on and are taking steps to keep service up and running.
Curry County Emergency Services Manager Jeff Hughes says he's tracking the wind. He says, though, watching the shoreline, he expects most wind risk inland for Highway 101 and power lines.
Here on the South Coast especially, we don't have a lot of east-west roads here. So Highway 101 is our primary road that links most of the built-up areas in our county. So with one road, it can be difficult to keep the one road open.
Well, certainly our system is robust and able to withstand high winds.
Pacific Power says it expects minimal impact from this storm because its crews are ready and because its power line system is built for stormy weather.
So we can look into the possibility of asking for mutual aid from other utilities. This is a situation where we have plenty of crews on hand. We do have crews in Coos Bay. We do have crews in the Medford area and Grants Pass as well.
If that becomes a factor where our law enforcement plus our fire and emergency personnel are available to try to answer that kind of thing. Most everybody seems to hunker down when this kind of happens. So.
Pacific Power says it can move its crews wherever it needs to handle mass outages. It also advises customers who have an outage to report it. That way you can sign up and get an automated alert for when your power gets restored. Reporting live at the Medford Airport, Jerry Howard, NewsWatch 12. Haley?
Jerry, thank you. And with a wind advisory in Jackson County, the city of Ashland is left without an operating severe weather shelter. Residents plan to voice their concerns at tonight's city council meeting. NewsWatch 12's Leave column shows us what the future could look like for the 2200 Ashland Street building.
Tracking wind, chilly temperatures in our region, and the opening of some severe weather shelters in Southern Oregon and Northern California. One shelter that is still closed right now is Ashland Severe Weather Shelter. In fact, it is all fenced up, probably 500 feet behind me, wrapping all around the shelter. City Council set to meet on Tuesday night to discuss its future.
The severe weather shelter on the south side of Ashland is still standing, and it has funding in the city budget through 2025. So why isn't it being used? Temperatures in the Rogue Valley don't reach the 32-degree requirement to open the shelter, but city manager Sabrina Cotta tells me it goes beyond that. The building's not up to code to house residents. If the city doesn't find a space that meets the code and a community partner to operate it, they won't have a shelter at all. Residents taking to social media to voice their concerns, with some set to bring it to Tuesday night's city council meeting. In Ashland, Leave column, NewsWatch 12.
And the Oregon Department of Transportation is advising drivers to avoid travel in some areas of the region as overnight travel conditions become more treacherous. The High Cascade passes near Diamond Lake and Crater Lake, as well as on I-5 near Siskiyou Unit. ODOT says to expect heavy and drifting snow with high winds and low to zero visibility. A full closure is possible on these highways as conditions worsen, deteriorating detouring on local roads is not advised, as they may be maintained less. ODOT has closed Highway 138 in both directions from milepost 24 to 28, about 7 miles east of Glide. This closure is due to downed trees and active falling trees. There's also a temporary hold in place at milepost 39 near Steamboat, also due to downed trees. And as the severe weather rolls through our region, there's an avalanche warning in place today from the Mount Shasta Avalanche Center. With the dangerous winter conditions, natural and human-triggered avalanches are likely, with the potential to run long distances into lower areas. The warning covers several areas, including Mount Shasta, Castle Lake, the Eddy Mountains, and the Ash Creek Butte area east of Mount Shasta. The warning is in effect until noon on Thursday. And the Weed Police Department is reminding you not to park on city streets during a winter storm. This is because of the winter storm warning, and it applies to city streets and alleys with or without curbs. Weed Police say to park in your driveways at home or parking lots at work. The storm is also having an impact on the railways. Amtrak canceling trains between California, Oregon, and Washington. This includes the cancellation of 2 trains on the Coast Starlight line, which runs through Klamath Falls. The company says despite their efforts, alternate transportation is not available to customers. And in Curry County, there is a high surf warning along the coast with dangerously large breaking waves of 25 to 30 feet. Check out these videos from earlier today along the southern coast. The Curry County Aquatic Safety Team telling residents to stay away from beaches and coastlines. This also includes rocks, jetties, and piers. Rivers and small streams also have a chance of flooding. And the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch and warns of potential landslides. The watch affects much of southwestern Oregon, including Curry and Josephine counties, as well as the Siskiyou Mountains and the southern Oregon Cascades. They say heavy rain may cause landslides and rock falls in steep terrain and near burned areas from recent wildfires. It's advised to stay alert and leave the area immediately if you think you're at risk. The watch is in effect through Friday evening. And winter weather can hit in Northern California especially hard. It's always smart to prepare your trip before heading out. NewsWatch 12 talked to Caltrans today, who says if you don't need to drive, stay home and avoid putting yourself in danger. Caltrans maintenance teams work long hours clearing roads during winter weather to keep highways open.
There are men and women out there on foot that are slowing people down. Conditions can be slippery. You need to slow way down when you're coming into those areas for your safety and for the safety of the people out there trying to keep the highway open for you.
So if you're planning on driving through snowy or icy areas this winter, chains might be a necessity. Chain control areas can pop up unexpectedly. Always be prepared and stay informed about changing conditions on the road. If you're out driving during a winter storm and suddenly find a road closed, do not take it. Woodward says if you find yourself in that situation, be patient and listen to any guidance from emergency workers. This holiday season, NewsWatch 12 is teaming up with U.S. Cellular and Grange Co-op for our annual holiday toy drive. We're asking for support from you to help provide toys for kids in need this holiday season. You can drop off unwrapped gifts at any U.S. Cellular or Grange Co-op location in Jackson, Josephine, Curry, Klamath, and Siskiyou counties. These donations will stay in the local community, supporting the Children's Advocacy Center of Jackson County and the court-appointed Special Advocates, or CASA, of Jackson and Siskiyou counties. NewsWatch 12's annual holiday toy drive runs through Sunday, December 15th. All information on the toy drive can be found on our website, kdrv.com.